Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Welcome into another live stream here this evening. Big day of college football. Big day. Penn State, disappointing for them. Shocking. So one of those East Coast to West Coast trips. There's nobody in attendance at the Rose Bowl. Did you guys see the Rose Bowl? There was no one there. There's no energy. But that didn't stop UCLA, I guess. Bad for the Big Ten, I'll say that much. Penn State losing that game, really bad. Did the Tigers or Mariners win? I thought the Mariner or I thought the Tigers were up 2-1 in that game because of Kerry Carpenter. I saw he had a 2-run homer. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's I don't think they're gonna fire James Franklin. I mean, it's James Franklin's had a great tenure. It's an unfortunate that's an inexplicable loss though. When you're 24-point favorites, those are the type of games you get fired for. When you lose as 24-point favorites. Oh, no, I'm sorry. People. I was just on this. I mean, I was just looking at some stuff, but I'll just look at X. Manning must stay another year of college football. Obviously, I mean, I don't know what to make of Arch Manning in Texas. That was a horrible loss by Texas, and that makes Ohio State look worse because that was Ohio State's big win. They beat Texas week one. Texas got manhandled by Florida. I was shocked at how bad Texas's defense did. Texas's defense was nowhere to be found in the first half against that Florida team. Really, it's a surprising performance. You're officially a gold bro. That's disappointing to hear. I think there's better things to invest into for say there's safe but higher upside returns. You could invest into a Bitcoin ETF, you get higher upside, significantly higher upside returns than gold. Texas so overrated. I don't know where Texas is going to be ranked. They're not a they don't look like a good team. Florida was 1-3. Now Florida's better than 1-3 for sure, but with the upsets, yeah, I don't know, man. It happens. But that was an insane upset, I'll be honest. 25-point upset. That one you don't see those very often. Tim Dillon had a pretty funny Candace Owens impression. Did you see Theo Vaughn? Dude, that woman today on College Game Day, bro, she embarrassed Theo Vaughn. People are pissed off at her. Theo Vaughn's like, "Am I gonna get to see you again?" And she's like, "Hopefully not." She's like, "You got to go back up to the stage to do the picks." And he's like, "I already got to leave this quickly." She's like, "Yeah, you got to go." He's like, "Hopefully I get to see you again." She's like, "Hopefully not." And people are pissed off at her. There's a bunch of Theo Vaughn fans. But yeah, people were telling me he's a sexual deviant. He I mean, it doesn't surprise me. All of those comedians are it's degeneracy and it's not surprising. Did the Jews make Penn State lose? I don't know, man. I think Penn State they're in for a tough time because they still got to face Ohio State. They still got to face Ohio State on the road. If they can somehow pull that game out, then that would save Franklin. But they still have Iowa, I think, on the road as well. So Texas Tech, very dangerous team. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anyone in the Big 12 is that dangerous. The Big 12, I mean, Texas Tech is, are they the best team in the Big 12? Probably. Does that mean a lot in the grand scheme of things? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think Texas Tech is that crazy dangerous. Maybe they win one playoff game if they make it. But I think Texas Tech could lose to, in conference opponents on the road. Yankees lost. Yeah, Yankees got annihilated. Yankees got crushed. It's an impressive win for the Blue Jays. You want to see Hegseth Navy speech? Well, I already showed that. I mean, that was like, but I showed it already. World Series picks. I would say Yankees, Phillies. Yeah, Yankees, Phillies. Maybe. Yeah, that's what I would say at this point. Well, didn't the Phillies win? I saw the Phillies were beating Ohtani. That Ohtani stuff is getting annoying. He's trying to be the starting pitcher again. Really? What's the point of that? That's a charade. Ohtani threw like 10 innings in the regular season, but they have to have him start in the playoffs. Seriously. Let's it just feels like it's this fake conjured thing with Ohtani. They're trying to force this dual position athlete, and it just doesn't work, and it's losing the Dodgers games. Dodgers pulled it out. You joking? I thought they were losing. You need the Yankees to beat Toronto so you control Canada. Dude, Canada, the Blue Jays, honestly, they shouldn't have even have home field. I mean, it was the records were tied. They got home field off of tiebreakers. The home field should be run differential, not tiebreakers. Do you think MLB expansion announcement will come after the World Series? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this early. They're going to do it. They're going to be there's going to be an expansion probably in 2026. I'll say 2027 maybe. MLB's got this huge mess. Nobody wants the pitch clock. Everyone's just sick of it, and they got to get rid of it. I'm just tired of the pitch clock. I don't need to see the. And they have a huge problem with the amount of ads that are on jerseys and on the helmet. You see the ads on the helmet now. They got big issues they have to deal with before they talk about expansion. They've got the Reds issue or the Rays issue. Now the Rays are going to go back to Tropicana Field. That's just great. That's just awesome. Yeah, let's sink more money into Tropicana Field. Let's sink more money into the Trop and just some. It's a horrible stadium, but they have to invest money now into the Trop because the freaking roof got ripped off of it. Trump should revoke Otani's H-1B. Dude, MLB would literally go to war for Otani. It would be MLB. Manfred would say, Mr. President, you have to arrest me before you deport Otani. I'm standing in the way. You gotta arrest me. Because remember the betting? And Dodgers fans don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the betting. They say, well, it was investigated. Bull fucking shit. MLB obviously can't lose Otani. It's a non-negotiable. MLB is already irrelevant as it is. They need Otani for this globalization of North American sports. Let's see ESPN eat their crow. Ohio State won. Dude, Ohio State was they were like 25-point favorites though. Nobody on ESPN was saying Ohio State was going to lose to Minnesota. So maybe if they pick Penn State to beat Ohio State and Ohio State wins, then maybe that's The problem is the Big Ten is weak this year. Because if Penn State is bad, then the Big Ten is weak. Because Michigan's not good enough this year either. Michigan's too young. It's just Ohio State and Oregon. There's no other team in the Big Ten unless Penn State wants to, but they are. I mean, they have 2 losses now. Now it's just going to be this SEC slop the entire season. Because look how bad the ACC is. Everyone's going to start praising Miami and stuff. The ACC is just slop. The Big 12 is just slop as well. Bama beat Vandy today. You were thrilled to see a comeback. Yeah, Bama controlled that game, honestly. They deserve to win that game against Vanderbilt. Do you think OU could win the national championship? Oklahoma? Not really, honestly. I don't think they have the offensive skill position talent to win a national championship. I think they've got a solid defense. They've got a quarterback who's a gamer. They're going to be probably favorites over Texas now. Watch ESPN will turn into Notre Dame shills. Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame, let's be honest, Notre Dame is a good team. I mean, we have to admit that they are. Even with the 2 losses, they're a good team. But, I mean, I don't know. If they lose another game, they have no chance of making it. But then again, they have an easy schedule. So we'll have to see. But I think Notre Dame's going to stay pretty irrelevant until they start winning more. Because they're still only 3-2. Favorite game? Well, I mean, I guess the Penn State game. Anytime there's an upset of 25 points, you got to say, what was the spread? 24.5 or 25, I think. That's a tough situation for Penn State. You're coming off an emotional loss. You're traveling East Coast to West Coast. USC has just a dead stadium, and it's a 12:30 Pacific time start. I'm not trying to make excuses for Penn State, but that's like just a dead stadium. Like the Rose Bowl is, I guess I understand why, because UCLA is horrible this year. UCLA was actually 0-4. I thought they had a win, but I guess they didn't have a win. So they were 0-4. And then they got their first win. North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina is horrible. Dude, Bill Belichick and Urban Meyer are like the inverse of each other. Urban Meyer is like this crazy successful college coach, is just horrifically bad in the NFL. Bill Belichick is the ultra successful NFL coach. I think Bill Belichick might have the worst Power 4 team in college football. North Carolina is horrific. And you would think North Carolina would have gotten a quarterback or something. Like Max Johnson, isn't this dude like a 5-year senior or something? He's a lefty. I don't know what those boosters were thinking at North Carolina to go into the season with that. If you're going to shill out money for Belichick. Will you live stream the New Jersey governor election? Yeah, I'll probably be live when that happens, unless I'm taking the day off, but probably would be stupid to take that day off. Any chance Indiana overcomes the Ducks in Eugene? Honestly, I think Indiana has, and this is just the normie take. Everyone is saying this, but Indiana is better this year than they were last year. I will say that. It's going to be a challenge. I don't think Oregon is as good as people are saying. I think Oregon's a good team, but people are like wanting to anoint them now because Penn State lost. They're probably going to be a little bit more down on Oregon because it's like, well, Oregon beats Penn State, but how good is Penn State? But you have to understand, Indiana's going to go into that game probably about 7.5-point underdogs, I would say. Maybe 7-point underdogs, maybe a touchdown underdog. Indiana will at Oregon. That's a brutal trip. They had a bye week this week, though, didn't they? Yeah. The wall surrounding Is Napier ever going to get fired? Yeah, I mean that's a big win, but they're still 2-3. They have a brutal schedule. Florida. What is Florida's best case scenario this year? I mean, probably 5-7, 6-6 with that schedule. Even with beating Texas, but I guess it depends on the boosters if they want to shill the money for the buyout. But I mean, Napier, he needs to be gone if you're a Florida fan, even with this win, unless they somehow go like 8-4 or something. Like if they go on a crazy run, I guess you can keep Napier. But Florida, it's just the same thing. They've had a tough schedule. I will agree, but that's just the SEC. The SEC is a very tough conference with the realignment. We need the Asian girl clip. I don't know what that is. If I was a spread maker, it'd be 10.5 to 13.5. Yeah, you have to understand Indiana actually is highly regarded analytically this year. That's why the spread is going to be lower than that, I think. BTC 124K. Yeah, BTC is that's a thing. People just need to fire, well, I don't know about doing it right now, but you just need to fire up the Bitcoin ETFs if you don't want to have custodial control or you're concerned about losing your Bitcoin. Just get an ETF of Bitcoin instead of the S&P. It'll probably return better over 10 years. I can actually pretty much guarantee it will return better. Even if you bought it right now, it probably would return better pretty easily. Bad Bunny doing the SNL monologue in half an hour. Yeah, it's just a joke. I mean, what even is? I heard the guy. He's Puerto Rican or whatever. He probably doesn't speak English. This is the NFL. Why don't people just? The NFL is a terrible product. I've got to be honest. It really is, and people still watch this. And then they put this dude on at the halftime show. Someone who obviously despises Trump. He's gonna go out and probably have a song that's anti-Trump and anti. This is such a. And he says, he says I can't have events in the United States because he'll attract the illegal immigrants, and then the illegals will get deported because they go to his events and stuff. Like, dude, those are your fans. They're all illegal immigrants. This is a leech. Awful announcing. Is it? Oh, this is it.
Clemson making moves.
TCU was. I went to that game, and that was one of the saddest feelings I've had in university so far. And I've failed midterms before, so that's saying something.
Strange. A little error. A little error by production. You were saying that in OU Stadium it has brick walls, and early in the game, the receiver Keontae Lewis was running for the ball and ran full speed headfirst into it. He had to be carted off the field. That's a scary situation, and that's against Kent State too. Oklahoma was facing a really bad team today. Thoughts on Japan's new prime minister? People are really surprised she's the first ever female. Yeah, I saw that was a major upset, at least on Polymarket. That was not expected. So, I don't know. I'd have to do some research. You were 11 out of 13 on your $1 money line parlay. Dude, if you do like a 13 team parlay on NFL, you're gonna be cooked. You got no chance. The NFL is just impossible to predict that many games because all the teams are like the same, honestly, dude. Especially nowadays, like there's really no great teams in the NFL, and they try and spin that as like, oh, there's so much parity, it's so competitive. It's just a bunch of average teams. Did you hear the story about Mark Sanchez? He was stabbed last night in Indianapolis, and the story took a wild twist when it was announced that he was arrested. Yeah, well, I heard it was a self-defense claim. I don't know what you. That's just a dumb decision by Sanchez. I don't know if he's a hothead or what that is. I mean, we'll see what comes out, but they saying it was self-defense. He got stabbed because you think you're gonna get stabbed.
Gen Z Politics tip $5 through Super Chat. Please, for the love of God, stream Madden or something. And which is better, Batman Arkham or Spider-Man PS4?
That Spider-Man game is epic. I do like Batman overall in general. I mean, I don't own either of the games though. But no, I mean, dude, I don't even have Madden. What do you want from me? You want me to stream Madden? That's not gonna go over well. People aren't gonna like that.
TCU was. I went to that game, and that was one of the saddest feelings I've had in university so far. And I've failed midterms before, so that's saying something.
Anna Yee, student here at the University of North Carolina. On social media, folks, she's gone viral. Over 400,000 mentions and views and likes. Into the end zone.
Dude, Clemson just annihilated. Wasn't it like 35-3 at the end of the first quarter? Gen Z Politics wants you to create a new channel, basically. Yeah, that's what I would have to do if you want me to stream Madden, honestly. I'd have to create a gaming channel. Kent State has run the gauntlet. They're getting paid money. They're getting paid money for it. Can you play the Theo clip? Oh yeah, that's got to be on here.
Over to the circle stage, but you are such a Vandy fan that you actually bought former head coach Derek Mason's house. You live in his house.
I live in former coach Derek Mason's old house. That's true.
Did he leave anything in there?
Give him a break. I think he went 0-16. Cut him some slack. I'm not joking. Bless him. Bless you, Derek. Yeah, he did. He left some trophies in there. I got to get back to him. And a plunger, too, actually.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Well, the guys are ready for your second round of picks, so go ahead, right up there.
Oh, I'm already gone?
You're already going. See you later.
Will I ever see you again?
No, I hope not.
Oh, I hope not. Ouch. Assault and battery on the field for that one. An unranked Mountain... You mean Mountain West team? No, I think Memphis is probably going to be the group of 5 team that makes it, if I had to guess. Flagrant technical foul. Ejection. Bro was trying to spin something. He was trying to spin his game. It didn't work out. People are hating on that woman. Theo isn't even funny. Yeah, well, Theo's like a neoliberal, honestly, probably at this point. You know, he got angry. He got angry at the deportation video, but I don't like these comedians personally, so I guess she became the comedian with she became the comedian for a second. He means Missouri Valley. For college basketball, is he talking about then? Remember that guy who used to be in the chat that lived in Japan? Dude, that was a while ago. That dude probably was only in like 2 or 3 of my streams. Yeah. That was a while ago, though, man. Should UNLV be? No, UNLV should not be ranked. They've had a lot of really close wins against bad teams. He would argue about people. No, that was actually somebody else, I think, that lived in Japan but wasn't Japanese and was trying to argue that, they had all these immigrants and stuff, and we were trying to tell him, well, it's so safe because you have no immigrants. He had no clue what was actually happening. If that's the person you're talking about. Do you think it's time to bench Arch after him throwing 3 picks? I don't know who their backup is, honestly. He doesn't look good, man. It's been 5 games. Texas Tech winning the Big 12. They're the favorites. I think the Big 12 is just it's a mosh pit. So I don't think there's any crazy separation, even with Texas Tech being the perceived favorite. Yeah, I don't know, man. The protests are just the same thing over and over again. It's just people being angry. Like, there's really nothing to show with the protests unless there's like a really funny clip, like with the frog costume. Mark Sanchez got arrested after he got stabbed. Talk about a bad day at the office. Like, these clips just irritate me because it's just such a waste to see these people trying to interfere. It's obstruction against ICE. It's what it is. What's your pick? Ohio State, Illinois? Well, Illinois has actually been impressive. I will say that. I think their offense is looking really good. But you're facing Ohio State. It's going to be a big challenge. Illinois doesn't have the skill position players to really do much against Ohio State. Now, I think Illinois can slow down Ohio State's offense. Because Ohio State's offense, they struggle to run the ball. So, Illinois is at home. Do you see the protester getting sprayed in their suit? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They got sprayed in the vent. Imagine if Illinois upsets Ohio State. Honestly, nothing would really surprise me this year. Especially if it's a road game. I don't think anything really surprises me. And Illinois is not a bad team. Obviously, Ohio State's way more talented, but Illinois is a veteran team. How long before New York admits Mondani was the wrong pick? What do you mean? They haven't even had the election yet. I think we'll see what happens if he wins and how his term goes. I don't think it's going to go very well for them, but Champaign can be a tough place to play, noisy. Yeah, it's good home field. It's good home field. I think they're a little bit angry. It's an 11 a.m. game for them. They're probably not happy about that. They got stuck with an 11 a.m. game, Illinois. Is OU beating Texas next week? It's looking likely. It's looking likely. I mean, we'll see. How did you like your interview? I thought the interview went well. The interview went well. He's a good dude. Mondani is at 88%. On Polymarket, you're saying? Yeah, I think Mondani's going to win for sure, but it's a sign of the times. Look at the mayor of London, look at the mayor of New York City. I mean, it's really shameful. But all these major cities they're majority minority. All of these major cities are heavily majority minority. So does it really surprise anyone that this is the outcome? We end up with a socialist / communist mayor who was born in, who's like a Muslim, who's born out of the country. I mean, it's just, this is this like this is just retarded for a country to exist like this. Like, this is our major economic hub. Like, why are people, what people think this is like, the problem is these white liberals are just not tribal. They actually hate themselves and they hate their skin color. All these other ethnicities are extremely tribal when they come to the United States, so they take advantage of the system. But then it's like there's no fight back from them. So they just let them come in and take over. You're rooting for Mondani, you want... Yeah, I think, I could understand people saying that. I think it's unfortunate for the United States to have New York City be led by someone like that. But I mean, at the end, this is the demographical result. So I guess you can't really be too surprised. Do you think if Mondani wins in New York City, that causes New Jersey to flip GOP? Citarelli is even leading, or is even in the governor's race? Yeah, I mean, I think it's down the line. I think it's going to be hard to flip New Jersey completely, but who knows? There could be some defects from New York that go to New Jersey. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Cuomo can even... Cuomo in a head-to-head against Mondani. I mean, but Cuomo lost in the Democratic primary, so it's like... He's just gonna rerun again. But I guess if it was Cuomo head-to-head, he'd have a chance. Have you heard anything lately about your interview with the Charlie Kirk witness who was at the UVU event? A lot of forums say the audience video photos are being suppressed by social media. No, I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't heard anything about an interview being suppressed. That was a good interview I did with an honorable man. It was a good interview. What odds do you give Jack in New Jersey? Say like 40% chance. Go to Matt Wallace and let us know if you believe the Trump and Bibi news. Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace, a reporter. Do you like sushi? It depends how it's prepared, but a lot of sushi now is very... I mean, you go to a nice restaurant, its sushi tastes good. Sushi rolls taste really good. But it's not good for you the way it's prepared. There's like a bunch of stuff in it that makes it taste better. Like raw sushi, I don't think I like. You think the Browns pull off the upset tomorrow? Cleveland defense is elite with Wentz. Probably throws 2 picks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a challenge for the Browns with Gabriel. It's gonna be they're gonna have a tough time scoring. They're one of the worst teams to watch in the NFL because they can't score, and they play really low scoring games. Or they at least try to play low scoring games. I guess they'll just go with Gabriel. I don't think Gabriel is very good. He's too small for the NFL. He's too small and he's a lefty. And I'm a lefty. I'm not, but just in the NFL, it's really hard to be a lefty. Do you think Tyler Robinson used that old guy as a decoy? I don't think he was related to Robinson in terms of helping him. I think, because if you look at the backstory of that guy, George Zinn, he's a campus kook who does a bunch of shit and was at a lot of these political events. I don't think so. Living on the West Coast sucks to watch 9 a.m. kickoffs. Dude, I used to watch the NFL. I used to watch 9:30 games. I actually liked the 9:30 games. Well, for West Coast, that's right. It's 6:30. East Coast, it's okay at 9:30. Browns should face the Titans. I don't know if they face the Titans this year. You made your own orange chicken. Yeah, I orange chicken is really, really good. But orange chicken, at least, I used to have orange chicken. It was in like a bag. It's very good, but it's bad for you. You're a lefty, thought you were better than that? Yeah, funny, obviously. Talking about hand usage. Thoughts on Theo Von live rejection? I mean, I reacted to it earlier in the stream if you want to go back. I'm not a big fan of Theo Von. That woman obviously seems like she was acting annoying, but I mean, gay son or left-handed QB. I mean, Tua, it's tough watching a left-handed QB, man. It is. It's just because people aren't used to it. Just the arm, the fact that the arm is. You just have to recalibrate your brain. It's a challenge. It's like a quarterback wearing the number 95 or something, or wearing like the number 50. It's brutal. Tush push. I think that should be banned. That's a rugby play. That tush push should be banned from the NFL. It's not an NFL play. It's a rugby play. The only way that play should stay is if the defenders can push each other. The defenders should be able to push each other. True freshman QB for Cal is he? I didn't even know that, but he's a good young player, I heard. Check, Eric, you're showering. Thanks for the update. I'll look at some of this stuff. Apparently, Mark Sanchez I thought he was in stable condition. Suffered critical injuries. You see this bridge that the Chinese built? The Golden Gate Bridge? A restaurant on top of one of the fucking tower supports? It only took them 4 years to build this. Different labor laws. More labor force too. There's a lot more people in China that'll work, but lot higher worker population. It will fall in 5 years. You know, they build like the Chinese will build highways through mountains, and it's like you look at the way in which they have to cut the mountain in half. The mountain gets cut, but what about erosion? I mean, I guess they've calculated for it, but I looked at some of their new because they go viral. You know, there's like, oh, this is Chinese engineering and stuff. Obviously, the East Asians have high IQs, and that's fine, but their economic system is going to limit their growth. I mean, you know, they went through deflation because they had the their government just has too much power. But they had the zero COVID thing. It really stifled their economy, and they build these highway systems. They'll cut directly through a mountain range. But I think it's got to create erosion. The erosion's going to kill those type of things because, you know, once the sides of the mountains start eroding, I mean, you're going to have rock fall onto the highway systems. The way in which they're cut, it just doesn't really make sense. They don't even have retaining walls or anything. Do you think a superhighway across the Atlantic Ocean will ever be built? I mean, but what's the point? I mean, how long would it take to get there? I mean, you could build something, but that wouldn't even be able to hold up. I don't think it's possible because there's no way to support it with anything. You know, obviously the ocean's far too deep. There would have to be a new type of technology or something. Thoughts on Trump making flag burning illegal? Isn't that bad for First Amendment? Yeah, well, it's more of a you know, protection against the country because it's deemed as disrespectful against the country. So it's a little, you know, I could understand people say it's. I mean, I would be fine if it was still legal, even though obviously I don't want to see the American flag burned, but. Penn State is trash. Yeah, that was a tough loss for Penn State, man. That's a tough one to recover from. They're going to have to try and beat Ohio State. They're going to have a tough time, Penn State. Their fans are pissed off. Flag burning is fine, but doing it as public is akin to arson. Well, the argument is it causes a riot or something, or it basically leads to a riot because it's an act that is going to cause a reaction from people because it's very disrespectful. The Rose Bowl had like 10 people and they still lost. I know. Yeah, that's a terrible atmosphere, the Rose Bowl. When the Rose Bowl is not actually happening, the game itself, when the Rose Bowl is not happening, it's a terrible look because there's so many empty seats. They have tarps up in the Rose Bowl. How is Texas A&M ranked high? Because they beat Notre Dame on the road. Why won't America make the world's tallest building again? Because it doesn't really serve. No, I actually agree with you. I think we should. But this is the issue with the country is just in a different place. But I think we should have massive mega projects that basically turn into monuments, and they're like tourist destinations, and it's like just huge buildings, multi-billion-dollar buildings, but it basically shows the innovation and the sophistication of the United States, and it presents it to the world. and you could have it in different states and things like that. The other issue is it's all the cities are just complete shitholes because the demographical shift. You know, all of our major cities are shitholes. Not now, parts of cities are nice, but the city as a whole. So you know, where would you build those massive structures? They probably have to go in these cities. NFL and NBA are trash. 90s and early 2000s were peak. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I think both of them have gone down. Well, I actually liked the NFL in the early 2010s. But even just the last 5 or 6 years, those leagues have really gone down significantly. We should have a big conservative city. I agree with you 100%. It'd be the safest in terms of the crime, and it'd have the best demographics out of any other major city. You know, but there is problems because with the big cities, the way in which they're. I mean, you just have to nip. To me, it is kind of easy. You know, in terms of management, you just have to nip the homelessness in the butt right when it starts. The Democrats tend to have really lax policies on homeless, and it just creates a festerment, and then the homelessness just spreads out of control. You know, they've got just a spiral of homelessness in California. They can't control it. There's too many homeless people. There's too many. The ocean have those huge waves. A transport system will not stand a chance in the roaring seas. Yeah, there's no way because the Atlantic Ocean is too big anyways. It's too big. The only thing you could do is you could certainly build a bridge across the Bering Strait. And so you want to connect Russia to the United States. I mean, you could do something like that. Is California too far gone to be fixed, even if we deport all the illegal immigrants and close all the borders? Well, it's too far gone in terms of I think the demographical shift of it is too far gone. But you know, deporting all the illegals and stuff, I don't even think that's going to be done. I don't even think that can be done under our current system that we have. So, but yeah, California, look at California's demographical shift from the 1980s to now. I mean, that is insane. The Democrats' soft on crime policies are around 95% of all the problems in the major cities. Yeah, no, 100%. It's a snowball effect. And it is the same like 5% of the people committing all the crimes getting released and then reoffending. Large city that is red will just be one of the most boring and bland culture cities. Well, it would be crime free. I mean, I guess it would be more boring than watching a shootout, maybe watching a drive-by shooting. I guess if that's what you call boring. It would be an actual operational, you know, societal structure. Funny. Do you think Ronald Reagan would redo his immigration policy if he saw what happened 40 years later? Yeah, I think the revisionist history on Reagan. I mean, obviously he didn't think the demographics would be like this in 40 years. There's no way. But nobody did. feel like even if we did somehow deport all the illegals, some Dem president will let millions in again. Yeah, and I don't even think you can deport them all. I mean, how are we don't even know how many are actually here, so what are we going to deport? Like, at what point do we declare, okay, we've deported all of them? I don't even know how you could declare that, unless there's like some, because we don't even know the number. Couldn't Miami be considered that red city? Yeah, Miami is. I don't even. You know, people go to Miami. They say it's not even like an American city. They think they're in another country. With the influence, what is it? Cuban influence in Miami. That's like a global city, Miami. And I guess it's understandable based on the proximity to all those other Caribbean islands and stuff. You live in a large liberal city with majority minority, and it's constantly ranked one of the best cities. Well, what city is it? I mean, if it's a big city. Is it Colorado Springs? No, Colorado Springs is actually majority white, because I was looking that up. Is Atlanta too far gone? Oh, Atlanta. Bro, look, just Atlanta, really the suburbs surrounding Atlanta. Oh, they've done a number on Atlanta, haven't they? Thoughts on the potential 2K Trump tariff rebate? I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, he's doing it as an enticement for people. You know, the problem with Trump and these tariffs, the payoff really doesn't happen. So the tariffs are seen as a negative by a normie person because it's like, well, it's a disruption to the economy. So how do you pay it off? Well, you pay it off by using the money you made from the tariffs and giving it to people and saying, "See, this is how I'm working for you." So, but I mean, are we really in the business to be doing that? Detroit, yeah, you're trolling. You're trolling. I mean, I appreciate it. Detroit. You're gonna go to bed. All right, I'll see you, man. Detroit not even bad anymore. Well, I mean, I actually think I should defend Cleveland and say Cleveland's better than Detroit, but I don't know. Maybe Detroit is better. But Detroit's bottom of the barrel, man. You know, maybe they've improved it slightly. But going from absolutely horrible to just horrible is, you know, it's still not great. But I mean, dude, it's the Rust Belts, you lose a lot of factory work to China. You know, the auto industry in Michigan destroyed the city. Losing that. Colorado Springs is red. We had an Indy mayor, but that's only because the Republican candidate was a douche. Do you live in Colorado Springs? Yeah, Colorado Springs I was reading about. I wonder what the trend is in Colorado Springs though. It's got to be pretty liberal. You know, all those liberals are infesting Colorado. Colorado has swung like crazy, man. That's the California migration into Colorado. It's the cost of living is the issue for even the liberals in California. They move. They don't go to Oregon. They don't go to Washington. They go to Colorado. Do you think Portland could handle an NFL team, and what other expense? Well, I think a lot because the NFL is in such high demand. I think a lot of cities could handle an NFL team, but I think they would be like Salt Lake City, Toronto, maybe Austin, Texas. Drew Brees or Peyton Manning? Manning. But I like both. I like both of them. Colorado was a red state as recent as 2004. That's a while ago, though, man. Come on. That's 2 decades ago. And look at Colorado. Colorado was a close state in 2016, even if you want to be honest about it. Minnesota was a really close state in 2016 as well, but Colorado, just the migration of liberals. It's like what's going to happen to Georgia as well. That's why Georgia's getting more liberal. Heavy liberal migration, from other states into Georgia, into the Atlanta area. It's turned the state. Because you think Georgia, well, that's SEC country. That's going to be like Mississippi, like Alabama. But because of the Georgia and the surrounding suburbs. Do you like hot tubs? Yeah, I like hot tubs. Hot tubs are nice. I haven't been in a hot tub in years, though. I haven't been in a sauna in forever either. Will the country naturally shift more red as boomers die off? Seems old people went the way of the left this cycle. I think it was like even. I don't think they were definitively left. Saunas are so good for you. You just got to be consistent with it. I would never consistently. You got to go in the sauna like 5 days a week, basically. Ohio State struggled. Come on, bro. Ohio State easily won.
Alexis Jun tipped $5 through Super Chat. Why is Atlanta and surrounding counties very liberal while GA has had a Republican government for the past 2 decades? They don't vote for gov election?
Well, because there's still a lot of conservative areas in Georgia. Again, Georgia is a deep South state. There's a lot conservative influence throughout the state, but it's just the differences. And this is like Pennsylvania versus Ohio. If you've got a major liberal hub, that's a big city, that's going to attract people. But even with Atlanta, more so, they're going to the suburbs around it. So the state of Georgia still is going to have a conservative tint overall. But because, Mississippi doesn't have an Atlanta, Alabama doesn't have an Atlanta, Missouri doesn't have an Atlanta. Well, I guess you could argue Kansas City, but, because there's that hub, and it's the same thing Pennsylvania versus Ohio. Why is Pennsylvania not shifted like Ohio? It's because of Philadelphia mainly. Like the population density of Philadelphia, it's a liberal cesspool in Philadelphia, and there's so many people there. Did you see the developments of the illegal superintendent? It's crazy. Turns out that not only he's illegal, but his diplomas are fake too. It's insane. And honestly, like, liberals say something like that can never happen. Dude. Also, think about, the only reason he was hired was because of DEI. Dude, that's the perfect story. That is the perfect story. An illegal that was hired because of DEI, but not hired as like a fucking teacher or even a police officer. Hired as the superintendent of a major school district in fucking Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa. It's an insane story. Missouri or Bama? I think that's going to be a tough game for Bama, honestly. In an apocalypse, the liberals in the big urban cities will take each other out. Well, an apocalypse, I guess that's different than a civil war. Apocalypse, it's humans go with each other. So I don't know what happened with I think the major cities would be a big problem with an apocalypse. You want to stay away from people, I guess. Stay away from people you don't trust.
The Vital Message tipped $5 through Super Chat. ATL is also the home of the civil rights movement. A lot of older black folks who grew up during that time while their vote left.
Right. Yeah, and it just with the influx as well. But I mean, Georgia was conservative, forever, and it's really the only one. It's not like, we're seeing a shift even in South Carolina. It's not happening. If Cal didn't randomly get blown out by San Diego State, they would be having a phenomenal season. Cal, it's tough because they're in the ACC now. It's just such a random thing, like Cal joining the ACC. UCLA beat Penn State. I know. It's crazy. Like the movie The Purge, the liberals would be the ones participating in a purge. I think the participation would be pretty minor, honestly. I don't think people wanted participate. I mean, there'd just be people trying to steal things, basically. That would be the purge. But in the movie, that was a great premise. It was. The movie, you could say, was not done the best. It's strange. I like Ethan Hawke, but I guess the second one was better. The Anarchy. The third and the fourth ones I thought were bad, but the second one was fine. I think it's a good premise, but it wasn't executed that well.
Alexis Jun tipped $5 through Super Chat. Do you agree with Reagan banning fully automatic weapons made past 1986? I think it's an attack on 2A, and we should be allowed to own any full auto.
I don't know, man. In terms of those type of things, it's very challenging. What level of military grade should a civilian own? I don't know, man. I mean, I think we should certainly be able to own guns, and that's part of American history, and it's a check on governmental power for sure. I mean, you're parsing in terms of the bump stocks and things like that, like fully automatic. You can modify it to make it fully automatic. It's... If the purge was real, ammo prices would be insane. They were insane. Remember COVID? That would basically be the closest thing. Dude, you couldn't buy any ammo. They would you bought a gun, they wouldn't even give you ammo with the gun. They'd give you 2 rounds. Do you think Fuentes is really gay and he's just hiding it? I don't know. I don't watch his shows closely enough to... that's just like a common retort to him, and... I don't know. He doesn't really come off to me as gay, honestly. Thoughts on iOS 26? That's got to be a troll. Are they on iOS 26? Is that serious? Somebody tell me if that's real or not. Dude, I remember iOS 7. Then they've got like 7.1, 7.2, 7.3. I mean, at what point, Apple has zero innovation. Apple needs to stop with the monopoly. I mean, they just have such a monopoly. I guess they make good products, but it's like they've had no innovation in the past like 7 or 8 years. Brandon Tatum. Yeah, well, I think Brandon Tatum is, very pro-Israel and stuff, and So they have arguments. The gay allegations are mostly tied to a stream he did with another guy. That was a really weird one. Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe there's something on video of him.
Desertif $7.99 through Super Chat. What are the odds Israelis going to break the ceasefire? Where I say 75% chance. Bibi knows his stuff, so I got feelings he's going bring down everything.
Well, you know, it's not even just Netanyahu. There's a large cohort within the Israeli government that wants to finish the job. And they're pressuring Netanyahu heavily to do that because of October 7th. This is their chance. So he's getting a lot of pressure. I don't know. I mean, I was surprised, honestly, when Israel agreed to that. And you know how it was reported? It was like, well, Trump strong-armed Netanyahu and forced him into the agreement. You know, I don't know about that, but I was surprised Israel agreed to that. So they're going to get no annexed land. I mean, that seems ridiculous. But what is Israel going to do with Gaza? Gaza's completely destroyed. I mean, somebody has to rebuild it. It's going to cost a lot of money. So there has to be a plan probably with a pool of countries together to rebuild it. But according to Trump's plan, the Palestinians can stay, but they have to give up all their arms or something, and they don't want to do that. Hamas doesn't want to do that. Thoughts on people saying Steve Jobs did nothing and just took credit from hardworking engineers and software programmers? Was Steve Jobs really not that useful in making Apple? Well, you know, that's the exact same thing with Elon Musk. But you know, there has to be a leader. But yes, undoubtedly, when you have someone, it's just like the head coach of a football team or a quarterback. They're always going to get more of the blame and more of the credit. Inevitably, they're going to get too much credit. So of course he got too much credit because they don't know all these programmers' names and the public doesn't know that. You know, if there's a breakthrough, if Apple releases something that's great, you know, Steve Jobs, it's just like a head coach or anything like that. It's just a normal thing. You know, there has to be a head, there has to be a leader. The leader gets most of the credit, most of the blame. They get you know, more of the credit than they should, and also more of the blame. But I mean, certainly there's other people that probably created things and he got credit for them. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Is it true Israel was on the verge of a civil conflict and wanted Bibi to resign until the October attack? Yeah, I think Charlie Kirk talked about that. Charlie Kirk actually talked about that. So even, you know, he was saying that. You feel like Israel accepting it could be a way to try and turn the perception on them. It's going down and it's not stopping. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think that's really doing anything. You know, them accepting that agreement.
Desertif $7.99 through Super Chat. I know people say Bibi controls Trump, but I've got a feeling that Trump has Trump Bibi. Something changed in the air. Bibi looks like a sad dog.
Well, I think if you think about it, Trump should obviously have the upper hand on this is the only component. If Israel has blackmail on Trump, what can Trump do about that? You know, Trump's lived a long life. If there's stuff, I mean, you kind of have to appease them if there's some type of blackmail. But if there's none of that, of course Trump should have the upper hand on Netanyahu, and he should be bossing Netanyahu around. Look at the comparison of the two countries. But the problem is, you know, Israel is so intertwined. They say that, well, they've got stuff on Trump, so that's how they're able to get Trump to do whatever they want. I've got a pimple on my arm or something. Is Eric Trump gay? No, Eric is Eric's got a wife. Eric Trump is really into crypto. He's got boomer level knowledge of crypto. Eric Trump keeps tweeting out predictions on crypto. He's like, now is a good time to buy. Refresh it. Oh yeah, I saw this. They refurbished the Charlie Kirk mural. This was a nice act.
You want to play that one?
Greenland updates. Project Greenland is what it's called. Bitcoin. They got a Bitcoin logo. Your thoughts on tomorrow's Hamas ceasefire deadline? Well, I honestly, I'll be honest, I don't think there's a high chance of this actually resulting in a peace deal. You know, I'd say it's about a 30% chance of it being a peace deal because it just seems inconsistent. The thought is that Israel accepted this knowing Hamas would decline it unless they're really getting, imagine they get no land from the West Bank. I mean, this is a major win for Trump if this goes through. It's just a bunch of, human feces and this is just a bunch of slop. Why was game day at Bama versus Vanderbilt? Yeah, I thought they were at FSU Miami. Were they seriously at Bama? That's strange. That wasn't even that crazy of a game. It wasn't even that big of a game. Prediction on when the U.S. government shutdown will end. I would probably say it'll end around the 10th of October. Like next Friday, probably. When does Trump move on from being peacemaker and focus on U.S.? Well, I mean, it's a multitasking thing. You have to multitask as president. There was one clip that was kind of funny. It was in the middle of the day, in a weekday, and the protesters were screaming at ICE agents to get a real job. Ironic. What's your favorite state not named Ohio? Minnesota. Minnesota. Remember Joe Biden? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I didn't think Vanderbilt was that good, honestly. Why are ICE on the streets when they're not getting paid? They're getting paid. What the government shut. Yeah, well. Stream broke. Silver. Yeah, that was me. The stream died for like 20 seconds, maybe. I think it's back. Silver coin. Candace Owens already blamed Israel for the stream going down. I'm gonna have to be interviewed by Candace Owens because I've been harassed virtually by Israel. I've lost money because my stream crashed. ICE agents still got their 30K signing bonuses. You would keep working. Yeah, they're paying them a ton of money now apparently. 30K signing. Yeah, but that, you know how that works. You got to be work. You have to work for like a year or something before you get it, or it's like a stipulation. It's just like a layer. You get a certain amount of it, then you work for another period. You get a certain amount. I mean, I think Bitcoin has got to go to at least 10 trillion. Not this cycle, but I mean, Bitcoin is still like I'm comparing all these different assets, or you compare, the index funds and stuff. I mean, a Bitcoin ETF is probably better investment than the fucking S&P or even QQQ or NASDAQ 100. It just is. Even though the volatility of it makes it a very unique asset. Should you drop out of college to become an ICE agent? No, don't do that. Well, what degree are you getting, man? Criminal justice. So you're trying to be a crime scene investigator or a cop or something, law enforcement. What's the weather looking like on meme coins right now? It's cloudy, cloudy with a chance of shilling, cloudy with a slight breeze on meme coins. Partly cloudy with a chance of Pump Fun ruining everything. Did you see the ginger kid on the Dr. Pepper commercial? No, I didn't see that. Opinion on trans people? Well, it's certainly a new phenomenon. It's like a new social cohort, and you get rewarded for being trans now. I mean, what is the trans population gone up like 5,000% within the past 10 years or so? Do you lose your job when a Democrat is elected? Yeah, they would scale down the ICE. You'd have to somehow be. That would be a challenge because they would scale down the amount of ICE employees for sure. You end Cal Raleigh's career. Why? What happened to Cal Raleigh? Did he have a bad game? Which Super Bowl halftime will we be watching? I don't really. I normally will try and watch some of the Super Bowl halftime show, but I don't. I don't watch all of it, but it's like a spectacle, you know. But this Bad Bunny stuff, he's apparently he's going to be dissing Trump. Which European country do you respect the most? Well, presently Poland, probably. Bad Bunny did some of his monologue in Spanish and told the rest of us we have 4 months to learn it. No one's learning Spanish. No one's learning that shit for fucking Bad Bunny, let's be real. Yeah, I was not good at Spanish either. I took Spanish for 2 years because they said it was better, you know, in a college application to take Spanish for 2 years. Should Trump even worry about the Super Bowl? Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. You know, they're going to come out and do some political statement against him, but Juan, what's up? To be honest, you see Trump only doing something with the Dreamers. Otherwise, why would DHS open back up? DACA, it's about 500 to DHS per applicant. Yeah, I don't know, man. How do you cure Trump derangement syndrome? People must be sent to a third world country or something. Maybe that'll cure it. I don't think there is any curing the derangement syndrome. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. I'm getting it there. It's midnight. It's past midnight. Who's the Heisman leader? Maybe Carson Beck out of Carson Beck. All right, guys. I'll see ya.